Julianna Okpadola. We are from Nigeria. I came into Quebec April 2018 with my two children. At that time, they were 4 years old, Emmanuel and Emanuela Oyadoyi. We came in as a refugee claimant, and there are too many reasons why people claim refugees outside war. It could be political problem, it could be threat to life, it could be some other issues, marital related issues. These and many more are reasons why people claim refugee. Being a single mom in Quebec at that point was is a big job. It's not one easy space to find oneself. You down to the point where you have to work, where you keep your children after school. The money you're earning, I was earning at that time, was not enough to keep my children at the daycare after school. So I found myself working, and I have to take care of children. And when I got getting people to look after my children after their school was pretty difficult, with so many persons demanding money, which I had to part from my salary for them to care for my children. So being a single mom at that point was not a joke. It was a very huge job. You have to juggle job with caring for little children. So it wasn't really a very interesting experience, so to say. The issue I faced with French classes at that time, especially in 2020, during that period, 2019, 2020, I enrolled in an online class, online French class, Frenchization, and I did a whole one session with them, and after which they said we should come to class. And coming to class, they said it's from 6 to 9. So 6 to 9, I went there the first day, and I went with my children because there was no place to keep my children. So they didn't allow me come in. They said that the children are not allowed in class. So the frustration, I had to stop. Again, I was offered to go online again, which I got from the school, of my children's school, and they said I joined the online, and my work schedule was crazy at that point. I was working in the morning or I was working in the afternoon. So again, there was no time for me to. So the reality about French learning for single mother is really it's not balancing. It's not balanced, because as a single mom, is either you work and not learn French, or you want to learn French and you don't have money to pay your bills, because the government can't do everything for you. They can't be paying you to go learn French, and you have children. So I don't know that part where we have to see how to balance up, how to help single mom with this French program, because French is one big thing in Quebec. We want to live in Quebec, we have to speak French. Yes, it's a reality. But how do we do it with people that have children and they are single, is the question. During my first hearing, because as a refugee claimant, you have to pass through what we call hearing, and you have to go face the judge to explain the reason what brought you to Quebec or Canada as a whole. And at that point, I went for the first hearing and I was refused. That made me to start looking for money to hire a lawyer. That is not a joke. I fell into depression at that point. I was in and out of the hospital. I had little children. So this is me talking about the expectations. What I expected was not what I was seeing. Now, the second hearing came. That was the appeal. Again, I was refused for the second hearing. I had some really, really difficult times with my health, and I was even like having a psychological issues, because at that point I couldn't concentrate. I had to work, I had to juggle it with children, and everything was just upside down. So I started falling sick and I had to work. Before someone will come to help a person, you as a person, you should be able to speak out, not to be afraid. Majority of refugees that we've seen, because of so many things that maybe they have heard, they are afraid to speak out on their feelings, and which we don't find very, very okay. I happened to speak out. I spoke out to the school. I called the school and I made them to understand what I was feeling at that point, the way I was feeling. And these people are humans. They would relate. They will be able to relate with you, because majority of them are parents. They have children. Whether married or not, they have children. So they will relate what you are passing through if you can speak out. So I spoke out and they came to my aid. They placed me, they made me see a social worker that could do a follow-up with me. That was how the importance of speaking out when you are in need is very important. I enrolled as a PAB in 2020 when the pandemic came. During the pandemic, because I was laid off in my first job, because my boss at that time couldn't pay, because the business was not going. It wasn't going well. So he asked me, okay, go and be on E-High. And I was on E-High at that time. So the premier came out and was like, oh, people are dying, elderly people are dying, and they needed help. I found myself that, okay, at this point, I'm not sick, I'm very healthy. And I said, okay, fine. Let me go and enroll in a college and become a PAB. So I became a PAB, and immediately I was sent to a residence home where I worked with the COVID patients at that time in 2020. Every other person would have stayed at home and collected the $2,000, which was very big at that time. Yes, at the comfort of their home. But it is not about the money. It is about the love and the care for people. So, which we have to show. Yes, at that time I was passing through a whole lot, but staying in the house and collecting $2,000 wouldn't help me in any way. So I have to go out to see people, to be in the midst of people and care for people. And we didn't even know that the premier was going to award us with a permanent residence at that time. It was kind of a shock to us and a thing of joy for us to receive that as a gift. That, okay, thank you for the help that you rendered during the difficult time. So I was one of those that was given the PR, the permanent residence, at that time by grace. So And at that time too, my lawyer helped me to get a positive response from a judge to send my file back to appeal, which my file was sent back to appeal. But at that time, I now had two choices to choose. So I chose the pathway of the premier instead of the hearing of the immigration. When I look at where I came from, where I'm coming from, and now, is a very, very huge way of describing before and after. It's a very, very big one, because my life before, all through the storms, and now is different. Even though I've not gotten to that place where I'm going yet, I'm still pushing forward, and I'm still like, every day I try to be a better person, a better version of me. And right now I'm trying to get my diploma at the secondary school level so I could go into nursing at the college level. So this was not me in the past before, but this is me now. And when we talk about what I do for fun, right now, the Julianna of this time happened to be a painter, a singer. Good. I now understood that I come to understand that I have too many talents, hidden talents that I didn't know was there before. I just started popping out. There is this new thing this new you that you feel when everything is kind of going smoothly. Even if it's not going the way you want, but it's still going smoothly, at least it's better than before.